everybody. It's Pat Hand at Dancing Moon Travel, here with my trusty sidekick, Kevin Gregg, all the way from Dublin, Ireland. He's our marketing director here, and I am so excited to have our guest with us today. I love his enthusiasm. We have Antolin Del Collado from MSC Cruises joining us today. And just a couple of housekeeping things. Be sure to hang in to the end. We do have a couple of a little special offers coming out, information you're going to want if you appreciate the value that we're telling you about today, and also you're just gonna want to hang in there. Also, if you could remember, on your screen, you're going to see a like button and a share button. If you have an opportunity to share, just let your hand hover there. If we say something, if Antolin says things you like, hit it. You don't have to settle for once. It increases our visibility with and the algorithms that Facebook uses. It's good for us when you like something. So feel free to like away, enter comments in the chat box. And with all of that out of the way, welcome, Antolin. We're so excited to have you on board with us today. Kevin, could you Antolin, say hi to our folks, and then I want to play this. I want to play this little brief video to just kind of give people a little sneak, just a hint about what MSC looks like, and then we'll get going in real for real here. Kevin, could you? Now, wow, isn't that about as much crammed into one little 1-minute video you could ever see?
Hard to not get excited, that's for sure.
Couldn't we all just use a dose of that just about now? Really, for sure. Antolin, MSC. Now, I'm going to tell you, you're a huge player, I know, in the European market, and kind of a newer player though in the Caribbean. I've been around for a little while now, and I think that probably for many people that will be watching this in the U.S., maybe something still of an unknown entity. Tell us a little bit. First of all, could you just give us a little hint of the history of MSC? You guys have been around a long time.
Well, thank you, Pat. So MSC Cruises stands for the Mediterranean Shipping Company, and indeed we are a subsidiary of MSC Cargo, the second largest cargo company in the world. And our family, the Aponte family that owns MSC, they've been in the seafaring business for over 300 years. So they're very passionate and very much involved with our conservation efforts and just overall love for the ocean. So MSC actually, we bought our first ship in the late 80s, which was the Achille Laura. And as we kind of dabbled in some European departures and bought two other ships, we've really redefined MSC and who we are today back in 2003, which was basically the beginning of our massive expansion. And in the first 10 years of our company, as we know it today, MSC grew an incredible 800%. And in fact, from the year 2016 onward through 2027, God willing, we are looking at a still to grow to grow through another 300%. So it's just really incredible. And then with that growth, we are the number one cruise line in Europe. You're correct. We are the number one cruise line in South America. We have ships in Dubai, but we've really taken and some of our strategy is to really bring these beautiful, compelling ships over to the Caribbean, the North American market, and us here in the States. I mean, we're probably one of the most important all of the industry. So our company thought it was just and just the right move to offer our experience here in the Caribbean.
Great. And what are some of the hallmarks of the MSC brand? What differentiates MSC from Royal and Norwegian and the other players in the contemporary cruise market?
You know, every cruise line does something very well in their own right, and I want to say what MSC does to really elevate the experience and to provide something that you won't find on other contemporary ships. It's just the elegance and the level of service that you get on our ships. Every single time I do a ship tour and I bring folks on board, they always go out of their way to let me know how beautiful and how clean the ship was, how very well maintained. And then the other thing that we've really embraced as a company and as a salesperson, I love to share the story with our guests, is the fact that we are a global cruise line. We do cater to over 180 nationalities worldwide. We are very multicultural. And what we like to do is we like, part of the experience is to touch on the cultures, meaning the food and the arts and the entertainment of the different countries and locations where our ships visit, and we like to recreate that on our ships. So, here in the Caribbean, you could have, we have excellent cuisine anywhere from Asian, American contemporary, all the way to Mediterranean food and seafood, and it's just wonderful how it's a beautiful mix of the different cultures around the world, and everybody's there for the same reason, right? You're there to celebrate, you're there to be with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends, to meet new people, and it's really a beautiful thing, and it's a setting that you really can't. It's not easy to recreate this type of intimacy and setting when you're bringing around like-minded people from around the world for a common thing. And I like to point that out because that is definitely a special special sauce of the MXC experience.
Excellent, excellent. And so you have a broad base of different nationalities, and I love that about the MSC brand, by the way. And uh, but who is the ideal client? You're bringing together this melting pot of different cultures and nationalities. But what's the common denominators? What is it that people should know that MSC would be a brand that they would appreciate?
That's a great question, right? So, are we going to accept anybody that wants to try it? Of course, right? But through a vast number of studies, and actually, there was from what I have understood, over a seven-figure investment to really help define the ideal cruiser, right? And what we did is we created three different segments, right? The first segment is the curious traveler, right? So the folks that maybe speak more than one language, the folks that maybe have backpacked or traveled abroad. The way I like to kind of bring it to layman's terms is the type of consumer, the type of guest that when you go somewhere, you're not going to eat at your regular, name brand restaurants, whether it's fast food or sit down, where you want to try different things and you want to try different cultures. That's the curious traveler. Then we also identified the sophisticated traveler, right? And most of our new ship builds, we do offer an experience called the Yacht Club experience, which is just enhanced staterooms. You have a 24-hour butler, 24-hour concierge, your own private pool. The menu is exclusive for Yacht Club, right? And then, of course, as soon as you walk into, again, the majority of our ships, you see the beautiful Swarovski stairway crystals, right? And this is the level of detail and the fine, the marble finishing, right? So that appeals to the traveler that wants that elevated and sophisticated experience. And then, of course, the families, right? We do have award-winning family programs. But the family is basically the curious traveler that had kids, right? And one cool thing about one of the very cool things that our kids program do, there's an element of education to it, right? So the kids, there's they might teach them different words in Italian or a different language. Also, they do cooking classes where they teach the kids how to make a pizza and bake cookies. And so it's, do we have all the game consoles and all the fun stuff that the kids can enjoy? Of course. But again, it speaks to, again, how we differentiate and how we cater to that curious traveler that has families.
Okay, very very good. Well, uh, I'm going to tell you that just a little. I I did not sell MSC. I'll be very upfront. I had a good friend in the travel industry who had a negative opinion, and he shared that, and he sold me on not selling. So I was like, somebody called me, and I'm going to admit this, was interested in MSC. I just switched them over quietly, and then you all got me on board one of your ships. I had the opportunity to sail on the seaside with a group of travel agents that you had on board in connection with Cruise World, and I'm going to tell you, I just switched gears. I so loved that experience. The food, the entertainment, the international sort of atmosphere. Uh, I mean, it just sold me big time. So that was the week before Cruise World a couple of years ago, and the night of Cruise World, I sold my first MSC cruise. I was up there on the platform being interviewed and was able to say, I just booked my first MSC cruise and I've been booking ever since.
Great to
Uh,
hear.
but yeah, I mean, it was just, I mean, it just turned me on a dime. Uh, so I know, and oh, this is this. Now look at this. This you were talking about that staircase, Antolin. This is my husband. They're on that Swarovski crystal staircase. You guys that are watching, can you just take Marvin out of the picture there for a minute and imagine that's you standing on that staircase having your picture taken. I mean, just take a second and just imagine yourself there. These ships are breathtaking.
The ships are definitely very compelling. Because of our tremendous growth, we do have, or we are amongst the most modern fleet of all the industry. The ships are geared to the latest technology, not only excuse me, to provide amazing elevated guest experiences, but also with conservation in mind. Our new ship builds are being built with liquid nitrified gas, and then a lot of the technology found on board. We'll cover that and hopefully in another presentation here with you guys. But talking a little bit more about the safety stuff, but how it all plays in and how important it is to have these new beautiful ships that have so much flexibility and provide ample room for our passengers for just a really premium cruise experience.
Yeah, and it really is. It is like a premium cruise experience from my own, from having been there as a passenger myself. It is very much the you feel like you're having a premium experience. But I know, Angela, and I know that one of the big challenges when you're a new player in the market and relatively new in the Caribbean market here, it can be a challenge just getting people on board for that first time, giving them the opportunity uh, to giving you letting you prove yourselves to them, and so and that frankly, I've seen a couple other cruise lines from Europe come over and try to do it, and they've fallen flat on their face. But you guys are going gangbusters. You're really succeeding. So, what's the key to that success? What have you been doing to get people to come on board and check you out and give you that chance?
Well, it's part of us defining who we are and what the experience represents and what passengers may appeal best to the experience. I think a lot of that came through trials and not only the big assessment survey we did, but also through trials and tribulations, right? So our company truly wants to be successful here. Our company truly wants to be amongst. We're not here just to compete. We want to be amongst the industry leaders in across the board and everything from ship amenities to safety to cuisine, the whole deal. But in knowing that we're a new player and knowing that we're here to stay, excuse me, one very, very, and I'm glad you brought this up, because one tool that we've used to really expose the MSC brand to our passengers is that we have a fantastic program called the status match, right? And essentially, if you have a status with any other cruise line or a hotel, unfortunately airlines are not applicable for this program, but if you have a status and you show us proof of that status, we will match you wherever it lands in our loyalty status program from your very first cruise, right? So if you are a diamond on a XYZ cruise line, and you show us proof, then you're probably going to qualify as a diamond with us, and you're going to have those perks, right? And the perks can be, you get automatic discounts right off the bat. You can be in, of course, the heavier your tier, the more amenities you get on board. Could be onboard credit, different invites with the captain, hors d'oeuvre parties, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, our Voyagers Club, not only you get a discount, but you get access to exclusive rates that are only offered for our for our Voyagers Club members. So, the reason why we do that is through the years of trials and tribulation, through listening to our value travel partners, such as, Dancing Moon Travel, and our guests that have experienced it, we have made some tweaks to really define, to better, to make better the experience. And then with rolling out this program, it's really helped folks take that leap of faith, right? Because if you have, I get it, right? If you have all these beautiful perks and you're comfortable with a particular line, I have no doubt that that adds to your experience. So we wanted that to have a component of that for folks trying MSC the first time, and thankfully we've been really, really successful. In fact, there was a study where folks that travel on MSC are 5 times more likely to get back on our ship versus going back to the original cruise line, which is just extraordinary. And it speaks to the efforts of we stop at nothing, honestly, to make sure that the guest experience is just next level.
Okay. Before we go on uh, you did address a couple of things there that I want to come back to, but we have somebody who's asked a question. We always want to respond. So, what ports of call are you guys visiting in here in the Caribbean? What would be a typical itinerary?
So great question. So we do offer Eastern and Western Med Caribbeans, excuse me, Eastern and Western Caribbean sailings. We also have a Southern Caribbean sailing that departs out of Saint Martinique, which it's not a common departure, but it definitely opens up to that southern exotic Caribbean. But you're gonna see, we do go to Key West, we do go to Nassau, we did. We're gonna talk about the island for sure, but we opened up our new private island. Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Belize, Honduras. Oh my God, Isla Rotan in Honduras, and then so a lot of the same a lot of the major ports of call you're going to see with Caribbean itineraries. But one important thing is we're always looking for the new destination and the new experience. So not only did we unveil late last year, early this year, Ocean Key Marine Reserve, which is our beautiful and amazing private island, but we're also at the end of this year, and it may be delayed because of everything going on, but we did develop a new port of call in the Dominican Republic. It doesn't have an official name, but it's by the locals there, they know it as Taino Bay. So there is another major cruise line that has a port close by there, but what we're doing, it's completely different, and it's just, again, it's more to the thought process of that port is to continue to touch on the cultures, which is our DNA. That's what we love to do. So there's going to be a lot of cultural experiences, a lot of different culinary experiences. That was actually, now thinking aloud, we were supposed to open that departure now, but it's still in the plans to be rolled out here in the first quarter of next
Yeah,
year.
things have just gotten delayed, and and we've hit closed doors at every turn here. But I think things are beginning to open up. One of the things that I did want to hit on is the value proposition, Antolin, that you guys provide. I mean, honestly, from an agent perspective, it is. I mean, do I say I can say this? It's my program. I can say what I want. So I just it's really hard to match the value that you guys offer. I mean, your value proposition when you're looking dollar for dollar, it's
It's
hard
hard
to
to be.
match.
I mean, and I'll give you some quick scenarios, right? So if you're Because I'll tell you what, I mean, from a pricing perspective, you are going to see that MSC is very competitively priced when you're shopping around. With when Dancing Moon is shopping for your cruises, you're going to see MSC, but that normally that might be a red flag. Let me tell you something: the price points do not speak of what that experience is in terms, again, safety, the ship's story, and the amenities and the cleanliness and just the overall beauty of the ship. I'll give you another scenario. So we have the yacht club experience. I have, again, not to say another cruise line or anything, but there's other folks that traveled in a balcony for 7 days and they paid top dollar. And when you compared that to what we were pricing out in the yacht club, it was very similar. So then you have to ask yourself, it's like, look, and again, every cruise line does this thing right, but if you're willing to pay XYZ price point for a regular balcony and you're one of 7,000 passengers, wouldn't you rather pay this similar price, be one of 200 passengers that are only in the yacht club with premium open bar, with your butler and all, right? So it's unbelievable, right? And if you're looking, if maybe yacht club is not your scenario, we do have cruise only rates that are, I mean, amongst the lowest in the industry. And then not only that, but we have a promotion called All In, which includes your beverage package and it includes a Wi-Fi package as well. And once you price that out, I mean, it's incredible, right? So if you guys know you enjoy your beer in the pool, or you have a glass of wine, or even your specialty cocktail, specialty coffees from our special bars, that usually is an upcharge. All that is included in our beverage package, right? So there's definitely value propositions. And another thing I love about MSC, and I know I don't want to spend too much time, but it's important, is that there's so much flexibility in the experience because we offer an experience called Bella. Bella is the most economical entry to any category, right? Then you have Fantastica, which you have a little bit more perks, like you get 50% off in the gym, you get better staterooms, right? And then you have an Aria experience where you have spa treatment. So you have the ability to build out your cruise with what you're paying versus adding everything a la carte later on, right? So anytime that you can include or bake in your experiences with your cruise price, you're gonna pay a better price than doing a la carte, right? That's just simple economics, and MSC gives our passengers the ability to do so.
Very good. That the value proposition is tremendous. We had another question
Sure,
here, Antolin. Somebody wants to know what ports you guys sail from in the U.S. And
that's a
you've
great question.
expanded that.
That's a great question. So happy to announce that we are fully committed to staying in Miami with our plans because we did have uh, we are under construction for a brand new state of the art terminal, and that thankfully is still underway. We also just announced that or a couple of months ago, I guess now, but we just announced that we are gonna home port in Port Canaveral. So that's just monumental for our company, and also again providing more flexibility. So if you're for those folks that are anywhere between Broward and Palm Beach County, now you have the best of both worlds, right? You have two amazingly located ports of call, strategically close to our island, and basically in the gates of the entire Caribbean. We are going to have New York departures as well. That's going to be well into the plans. We did have an expanded season plan for this year. Of course, things have been bogged down, but we very much so indeed plan to get our ships back in New York. And there were talks about another port out west, but that's been tabled for a little bit. But here's what I told folks. So we right now we'll have three home ports in the U.S., two year round, one seasonally. But with our growth and with the company's commitment to continue bringing our new ship builds over to this side of the world, with the commitment overall to us, to this market, we will continue to see ships in different ports throughout the years to come, and that's great to get on with MSC now, and to really be a part and play a hand in our growth, and it's going to be a great ride.
Yeah, yeah, and just getting bigger every year. Well, with the exception of 2020, although you guys are still managing to
We're there.
make some progress here. You have a secret weapon. We touched on this just very briefly, but your arsenal now includes Ocean Key Marine Reserve. You guys did settle for Island. You developed a Marine Reserve. I mean, really here, but you guys have really taken this up a notch, and you're doing some very unique things with your island. So you, I know I'm watching the clock here,
Yeah.
with that, but I tell us just a little bit about, uh, what are you guys doing differently with your island?
Oh, the island, and thankfully, I was able to be spend the day in the island and back in March before this craziness started, which is great. So I can share my experience with you guys. The first thing about the island, it tells a story, right? We not to we can get more into it, but I don't want to take too much time. But basically, we have a coral restoration project. We planted over 77,000 trees. Our the coral and the marine life, the coral that we planted are thriving. They're called super coral. Our at the MSC Foundation teamed up with a team of scientists from Nova, University of Miami, and a group of scientists from France. And these super corals are thriving. We're seeing lobster and fish come back. We cleaned up I don't know how many tons of waste because it used to be a sand extraction site. So I mean, there's just a story, right? The island is self-sustainable in terms of are recycling water, advanced recycling treatment. It's spectacular, right? So definitely one of the things that separates is it's the story. Second is the size. 64 square miles, 8 different beaches. We have an actual pier, so that there's no tender boats. We're there till nighttime, so we provide a private island experience daytime and night. And let me tell you, folks, I've personally been there. You can spend 2 or 3 days on that island and never do the same thing. Each beach looks completely different. And then who would have thought in today's environment where space and social distancing and everything is at a premium, right? To have the ability to create this type of space, the island has that, right? It's really really special, and I look forward to getting a little bit more in depth with you guys and maybe showing a video of what that island is in the future because it's impossible to say the story in 30 minutes, even let alone a few minutes. But it's definitely it's our biggest asset right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Kevin, could you just cue up that little, we've got a little bitty clip that we
Oh,
we
great, great.
stole off the internet here. Doesn't do it justice, but it fit. I love this, Antolin. I mean, you guys took a wasteland, just basically a toxic dump sort of place, and you've turned it into a beautiful, beautiful. Oh, we've got another question here. Is MSC family and children friendly? We got to answer that one, Antolin.
Absolutely. We have award-winning children's program. The amenities and the lounges built for all age ranges. I mean, it's just state of the art. I can tell you, just by example, the MSC Maravilla, for example, has an entire basketball court. We have interactive water slides on all of the ship builds. It's extremely family friendly.
Yeah, I saw that, and it's just, I mean, it's a great fit. Whether you're a honeymoon couple, an empty nester, a family, there is something for everyone on these ships, and the touch of elegance. I mean, it's really, it's a very special cruise line. It's very different, and I know we've got so much to talk about. We've got the whole safety and health protocols that you guys are leading the way for the entire cruise industry with what you are doing with the health. You guys have been sailing since June without incident out of uh, Europe, and uh, the cruise industry is really looking to you guys. You're the standard bearer, and we're folks. Antolin, you've agreed to come back to us to talk
Oh,
about this.
I'd love to. I don't. It's not working when I'm talking about something I feel passionate about, and it's genuine, and it's easy to talk about because it's genuinely how I feel about the brand.
Yeah, it's so good, and we want to do justice. So we're going to do another segment on what's going on with that. With the folks, I'm going to tell you something, and I believe this sincerely from the bottom of my heart that as we resolve this, there's not going to be any place safer to be in this planet than on a cruise ship with the new with all of the protocols that they have implemented. So stay tuned. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have Antolin back to talk more about that. So. Uh, Anyway, we got to wind this up. I'm mindful of the clock here, but are there any special offers or promotions currently available that people should look to book?
Absolutely. So in the true spirit of Halloween, for those that celebrate it, we do have a promotion called Trip or Treat, and essentially for all Caribbean departures across our four ships down here, it would be the MSC Armenia, the Divina, the Seaside, and the Maravilla. Four different ships, four different classes, and everywhere from 3 to 4 to 7 to 10, or sorry, to 11 to 14 night cruises. So plenty of options. We're seeing the Trip or Treat promotion is cruise only. It doesn't include the beverage package, but of course you can look into that and have Dancing Moon price that out. But Trip or Treat, you're looking at 50 to some sailings, even 75% off. The offer expires October 31st. I really, really recommend that you call Dancing Mood and start to get some pricing. Deposits are only $99 from 3 to 4 night cruises. Then it's a mere $198 per person, or excuse me, $199 for departures 5 days or longer. And as long as you are outside of 90 days, it's fully refundable. So if you're looking to take a trip of a lifetime in the spring or next summer, it's not that far away. I really encourage you to take advantage of these offers, because it's my job to help fill the ships, and hopefully as we do, the prices go up. So we want to incentivize and reward the early warm. So it's never too early, and we do have a price guarantee. As long as you're outside of your penalty, and let's say if another great offer comes, hey, we're going to be the first ones to offer it to you, and make sure you get the best offer. But believe me, folks, the further out you book, the better. And Trip or Treat is an excellent promotion.
And we're going to add a little something to the deal here. If we have anybody who books, let's say I'm going to extend this through November 7th. Anybody who books a 7 night cruise with MSC through us, we're going to give you a $50 onboard credit.
Wow.
We'll buy you a couple of drinks while you're on board,
Wow.
and I'm going to throw in a Dancing Moon Travel tote bag as well to that. So we're going to add a little something to the mix. And I want to tell you, I have put my family where my mouth is. We are booked. We're sailing in January 17th. My family, we're getting on board. That's how much I believe a cruise is going to be a safe place to be. Me and my family, we're going to be on board. So really good. But Antolin, I have so appreciate you being here and all you've shared. I'm so excited about MSC and what you guys have brought to the table. Uh, Next week, we're going to be talking about Ireland. Kevin and I are going to we know a little bit about Ireland. Kevin lives there. So we're going to be talking about that opportunity and what all Ireland has to offer the world will open up. And folks, we've got a new time coming up. Kevin, you want to show them there? Yep, starting at 7:30 next week, Eastern time, 6:30 Central. We're going to be changing our time frame just a little bit, new time. But Antolin, we so appreciate it. And we're going to book another time for you to be here. I want to talk about those health and safety protocols. You have just inspired, I'm so enthusiastic about MSC and what all you guys are bringing to the table. And when I went back to sailing, that's where I went. I can't wait to get back on board the Seaside.
That's wonderful, Pat. And let me tell you, your enthusiasm and being able to engage and speak with your guests, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? So we definitely, MSC, we appreciate the opportunity, and we look forward to engaging with you guys again.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for being on board and running our technology. Thanks, everybody. And we hope to see you next week. Antolin will be in touch.
Thanks, Andelman.